Jesus freak here, and this is probably the first time I've really tooted my own horn over this. But several years ago, I did a translation of the New Testament. And honestly, yes, it needs work. It's not perfect. I used the first and third editions of Erasmus. He did a Latin translation, Latin Greek parallel edition, and sometimes I check this against the Vulgate to get some additional inspiration or whatever. And when I translated 1 John 5, and I'm just going to read a little bit of a piece of the chapter to give you an idea of where I'm coming from, and you tell me if you think it sounds like there's any interruptions, jumps, or sudden topic changes or whatever. Who is it that conquers the world but the one who believes that Jesus is the Son of God? This is the one who came by water and blood, Jesus Christ, not in water alone, but in water and blood. And this is the Spirit that testifies, because the Spirit is truth. For there are three that give witness, the Spirit and the water and the blood, and these three are one in accord. If we receive the witness of people, the witness of God is greater, for this is the witness of God, who witnessed of his Son. Now, my personal opinion is this actually sounds like just continuous and like there's nothing standing in there. But around the late, I believe, 5th century AD, gloss wound up getting inserted in some Latin manuscripts. And you may be familiar with this gloss because it appears in the King James Version, as well as obviously a lot of Catholic versions until, I believe, about 1970. Let's look at the same passage here. Who is he that overcometh the world, but he that believeth that Jesus is the Son of God? This is he that came by water and blood, even Jesus Christ, not by water only, but by water and blood. And it is the Spirit that beareth witness, because the Spirit is truth. For there are three that bear record in heaven, the Father, the Word, and the Holy Ghost, and these three are one. And there are three that bear witness in earth, the Spirit, and the water, and the blood, and these three agree in one. If we receive the witness of men, the witness of God is greater, for this is the witness of God which he hath testified of his Son. Now, my personal opinion here is it feels it feels pretty obvious that something was inserted into the text at this point, because it jumps from talking about water, blood, and Spirit to talking about the Father, or the Word, and the Holy Ghost, and then goes back to talking about water, blood, and Spirit. Do I think there's anything theologically incorrect with this edition? Not particularly, although there are people who come to a theologically incorrect conclusion about the phrase, these three are one. Now, like I said, it appeared first in Latin. that's kind of a black mark against it. It doesn't show in mainline texts in Greek, I believe, until the 11th or 12th century. And I think there's maybe one manuscript where the original scribe actually put it in there. Also, the language from manuscript to manuscript varies significantly, a sign that it was back translated. Like I said, I don't see anything theologically wrong with it as long as it's correctly interpreted, but I think it's an obvious intrusion on the text. Again, this is an opinion. I know there's other people who disagree with this, but I think that the text works better without it. Anyway, Jesus freak out.